Hey friends, welcome back to your Good Life Now podcast. I am Frankie Martinez, and today I am so honored to have a very, very special guest. I'm so grateful to have him on the podcast. Please welcome the one and only Zac Barnett.
What's up?
There he is.
Here. The crowd goes crazy.
The crowd is going wild. Well, man, if you do not know Zac Barnett, you are welcome. I'm going to introduce you to him. You should know him. He is the lead singer and songwriter to the rock band American Authors. And if you're saying American Authors, let me tell you something. If you go on Apple Music or Spotify, you know their music. You just don't know it. So they have tons of amazing hits. I'm on Spotify right now. You guys have only over 6.7 million listeners. So it's a truly an honor to have Zac Barnett on the podcast today. So welcome, man. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Yes, it sure is. And man, what an interesting way we met. Interesting story. I'm just going to jump right into it because it's very cool. So I went to go see me and my daughters. You know, my daughters, I have young daughters. They're 23 and 20. And they always take me to go see these cool concerts. You know what I mean? So, and I never know what I'm in for. You know, I just go and enjoy because I love music. I play guitar too. So I'm a big music guy. Awesome. So we go see Small Pools. And then the opener is Zac Barnett. And the only reason you're opening is because you're doing a solo act. You don't have your full band with you.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was really just like a super last minute thing because Small Pools are such close friends of mine.
Nice.
And they needed a solo opener. Basically, they just needed a single person solo opener on the tour just to fill the last seat in their van, right? They didn't even have room for more than one person to come. And they're such close friends of mine that we were just talking on the phone, and it was like, you know what? Like, I'll come out. Like, I've never done like a solo thing before, but we're all best friends, and I think it's really fun and a great learning experience.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for doing that because, I mean, I like your music on Spotify. You know, I think it's great, and Apple Music. Your music is great there, but I'm telling you, your solo performance, that was something else, man. That was something different. And I'm so bummed that tour is over because I've been following you on social media and I saw that the tour is done, right?
It's done, unfortunately, yeah.
Because I should have messaged you because I wish you would have recorded that. That was just so impressive, the solo act. And honestly, that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast because there's something different about when you have a full band and when you have just you and a guitar and a voice. Totally. Like it's so much more intimate and your vocals stand out way more, I think, with it's just you and your guitar.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. And I really do appreciate it because, you know, like I was saying, this really was my first time ever doing something.
Wow.
I haven't played by myself since high school.
No way.
I really haven't, and I'm 35 now, so it's like since high school I've just been like with bands. Like Authors have pretty much been touring nonstop for the last decade now.
Yeah.
So this was a really fun experience to be like, okay, let me put myself out there in a much more vulnerable position.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of really cool challenges to overcome with it. And it was super fun.
Wow. What were some of those big challenges for you?
It's just such a different thing than playing with a band. You know, when you are with a band, it's like you can kind of get lost in that. You don't have to really, if you're on an off day or whatever, you don't really have to be one with the crowd as much. And also, it doesn't really matter what the crowd is doing because you're so loud. You know, your sound is such a force when you're with a band that you're not picking up the nuances in the room. Whereas, you know, with the solo thing, like, that's work. It's like I understand the assignment of I am here to warm up the crowd for Small Pools.
Yeah.
You know, it's my job to win these people over. And that doesn't, you know, I can't expect everyone out there to be a fan or to be stoked on my stuff or like, especially with Small Pools because they're such a high energy group.
Yeah.
It's like, I got it first night. Like a lot of these people are here to turn up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And, you know, like a solo acoustic act can be a little different, obviously. I found it was a really fun challenge to be like, okay, look, you gotta win these people over, whether that's with, you know, good songs, cover songs that people may know, you know, jokes, you know, like with the crowd, or with your emotion, you know, with my voice and trying to cut through any way that I can, you know.
Yeah. Well, man, you did a great job because honestly, like when me and my daughters are there, I had my kid with me, my 13-year-old boy, and he brought some friends. So we were all there. We were front row. We got there super early. We're up against the gate,
Yeah.
And then I see you come up with an acoustic and I go, oh gosh, here we go. What's this guy doing, But you know what? We were all like blown away. I mean, honestly, it sounded, like I said, I wish you could have recorded because it sounded so full. It didn't sound like it was lacking anything. The way you got the crowd moving was amazing. But here's the honesty. Here it is. This is why I invited you on the podcast because I was just so like impressed, moved, and I'm so curious as to what's behind your music because it was so positive. I mean, the positive energy was ridiculous. I mean, it was just like, I'm like, wow, there's something about this guy. I got to read. There's something about this guy. There's something different about you. It wasn't like a normal entertainment show. We felt like I don't know about you, but I'm big into music. So sometimes when I go to a concert, it's almost like a spiritual experience for me. Like I can feel closer to God than ever before in this moment where, emotions are there. And your music just did that. It did that for me and it brought that spiritual connection. I go, wow, I got to talk to this guy. So man, what is it? Why is your music so positive?
I think, for me, just the way that I live my life, it's like, I can't be too stuck on the negative. I can't be too stuck on something that happened in the past or whatever it is, like something that hits me hard. It's like, I obviously need to take those moments in and really try to digest them as well as I can. And I understand that it's still like a learning experience for me to be able to digest the bad things that happen in life. You're always going to be hit with it. But, so much that I do like to live by is it's like, well, what happens, and all I can do is control myself and my outlook on the future and what's going to be there to make me happy. And no matter with what it is, like a relationship or my family or my friends, or especially with my career, it's like my career didn't come easy. Yeah. And it was just always a grind. And I think I always looked at it as like, there's that light at the end of the tunnel. I always love that phrase because I think it's true, because if you go through life with the light at the end of the tunnel, which there always is, it's like, you're going to reach it. You're going to reach it, whether it's with hard work or a little bit of luck or the right time, right place, all those things. If you're constantly striving for those, you're going to reach that light. So all this other stuff that's hitting you, I had tons of people saying like, your music's no good, or you're not going to be able to make it, or it's oversaturated, or whatever it is. But I was having so much fun in those moments that it was totally worth it. It was like finding the positivity along the way. Wow. To get to my ultimate dream, Yeah. I look back, like I swear to you, like I look back at those years grinding, working at restaurants, out of job. Like I was doing like weird odd jobs online and stuff. Like I look at those times, like broke in New York City, hustling. Like I look at those as almost some of the better moments of my life. Like I hold those as like, man, those times were so fun because I was surrounded by good people. Wow. We were all reaching for our dreams. Yeah. And I didn't know anything else at the moment, know? And obviously, like, I'm so thankful where I'm at today. I understand that my hard work really paid off and I got this amazing place. But I look at those times and I think looking at all those milestones and all those moments in life with there's that light at the end of the tunnel, there's that positivity. It's like, so I try to express that in everything that I'm a part of. And American Authors really did kind of adapt that message pretty early on. We just simply call it like a message of hope. Yeah. And I think that's where like maybe sometimes like our music, the music that I'm a part of, I always try to make it like different from other maybe like happy, positive music that you may hear, because I want to sprinkle in the realness in the verses that sometimes people miss. Yeah. And I'll always quote American Authors' first two songs that we really released that put us on the map, which the first one is Believer. Yeah. And on first listen, people hear that song as like, I'm just a believer that things will get better. It's super happy, right? You hear it like that, but then when you go back and listen to the verses, it's saying, it's saying some real stuff, saying like, I'm sheltered, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm going nowhere. Like, I'm jealous, I'm slow, but I don't want to let it go, because these are the things that make me who I am.
Yeah.
Knowing that those are the things that make me the person I am. Like, I'm a believer that things will get better. Right. That's it in the most simple terms, like light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the best day of my life, people hear, woo, woo,
yeah,
it's gonna be the best day of my life. Like, that's what you hear.
Yeah.
What people miss is the whole song starts with, I had a dream so big and loud. And it's like, you're putting yourself in, I had this dream world to escape to.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's about that escape from the real world. So even, I think I just try to keep that going with not just author's music, but also with my solo stuff. My solo stuff that, you know, I sprinkled in on this tour.
Yeah.
It's a little more like real talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like straight up conversational, which, you know, I like to mix it up.
Well, that's great, man. I love that. I love hearing the story behind it and your motivation. So what, like you were talking about the struggles of, you know, when you were trying to make it and struggling, and then when, you know, where you are now, what was that driving force? What was going through your head? Because we all face struggles. We all got dreams and we all got struggles. And many listeners are at that battle right now where they see their dreams here and then they see the struggle. What helped you push through the struggle to get there?
Man, one, I never had a backup plan. I did a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But when times were tough, I did do other things. So I don't want to get it ever twisted. Like, oh, you know, no backup plans. It's like, I think, but I had such a passion for entertainment and music, and I just wanted to be in that world so much. So it's like, when I was really struggling, like you know, like Hurricane Sandy just hit New York, and the restaurant I was working at got flooded, so I was out of a job. So I really, like, I was pretty broke at that point. But I was doing such odd job, but it was like I did like an off-Broadway musical of the Buddy Holly story, so that kept me in music. I started like music directing some artists, like playing acoustic guitar for some artists. Like, it was all like low-paying stuff, but like it kept me in the scene.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I did like a reality TV show, which was like a ghost hunting TV show.
Wow, nice.
Like, it was these things. I did like extra work for movies and TV shows. So it was like, I think I just always had such a passion.
Yeah.
That it was like, dude, I don't care if I'm down to my last dollar on this. Like, I'm gonna keep going.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep pushing through. And it's not like I didn't have challenges. Like my dad passed away when I was 20 years old, when I just started at Berklee College of Music, and it's like, you know, it's like I went back. I didn't have any money to pay for college, so I dropped out and just started touring.
Wow.
You know, it's like I mean, this is a crazy story. It's like when I was living in New York, I got sued for illegally downloading the Hurt Locker.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You literally got sued for that, really?
Yeah, like, that was one of it. And it was crazy because at the time, I've always been pretty good with like saving and being really conservative with money. So at the time, I had $2,000 in my bank account. That's what I'd saved, right? So it's not a lot, but like I had $2,000, and the settlement was for $2,000. And I talked to like a bunch of people, like lawyers or whatever. And they're like, dude, it's going to cost you way more to try to fight this, whatever. So I know you could call me if you're listening right now. You could be like, oh, this guy's an idiot. But whatever. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with this. I was young and I didn't know anything about anything. So I just took my $2,000 that I had saved and paid it. So I was back down to zero. But it's like, I guess with that, it's that, okay, cool, that happened.
Yeah.
My dad passed away. Yeah, that happened. That sucks. And I'm sure there's still... I know there's still a bunch of emotions that I need to process more and work through. Right? It's always a journey. It's not about completely moving on.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it was like, well, what am I supposed to do right now? It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's not even about what would my dad want me to do. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, okay, that happened.
Yeah.
That's a major bummer. And sure, this is going to affect me for a really long time. But at this point, I have this opportunity where I'm accepted into this university. And it's like, I don't want to let that go right now.
Wow.
So it's like, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep being in that environment. I'm going to keep touring. And I think being surrounded by amazing people too was incredibly helpful. You know, one of the things that I found from this tour, this most recent tour with Small Pools, where I did it by myself, was it was such a driving force to show me how lucky I am to come up with a band.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because I'll talk with my drummer. My drummer is like my best friend in the world.
Yeah,
I love I mean, the guys in my band are my best friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, my drummer and I, we talk every day for like an hour at least. And
Nice.
we've talked to each other before about like, man, it's so crazy because no one else in the world will fully be able to understand and relate to the experiences that we've been through together. And that's a really special thing to be able to come up and go through all these, where I can now talk to him and go, hey, remember when we were in New York?
Yeah.
Remember when we were grinding? Remember like, this solo tour, while there were, I don't call it positives and negatives. It's just differences.
Yeah.
With this solo tour, I would have an amazing show, right? Like, I was like, man, that was incredible. The energy between me and the crowd was really special. All of them were awesome, but it was a special moment.
Yeah.
You have no one else to share that with.
Wow.
I have no one, I can't call anyone about that and be like, man, last night was insane. Like, you can tell people, and people but like,
they don't get it. Yeah.
So especially on the come up, man, it was pretty incredible that I had, my band, I had other like-minded people in my life. So we were all kind of there to support one another coming up. And so, surrounding yourself with good people that love you and you love them.
Yeah. It's like a family there, right?
Gotta have it, man. The family, whether it's friends or your, blood, or it doesn't matter, man. The family is so important. I find that, as I get older.
Yeah.
Family's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's vital. It's vital of keeping positive and keeping going, that encouragement, know.
Just surrounding yourself with good people, whatever those good people, wherever they come from, surrounding yourself with people that are positive. I've had people that are negative in my life for a long time. And I understand that it can be really hard to let those people go. I've had to let some of that negative energy go in recent times, and it's insanely difficult. But man, I've seen such positive effects from it. Moving forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that, man. Well, that's what I love about you the most, I think, is your the positive outlook that you have. Hope is, I saw on your bio, hope is something, I don't know what you guys call it, hope something.
Yeah, American authors, we like to say music for the hopeful.
There you go. That's what I saw. Music for the hopefuls. I love that, man. So what does that come from? What is it? Is it just come from your own personal pain? Is it just come from, wanting to make the life better for other people? What's the drive behind that?
It's obviously, it's coming from personal experiences. Obviously, it's just like us working hard and like, not really coming from, we didn't have like terrible, crazy upbringings, like nothing that insane, but just like pretty standard, divorced parents, whatever. Yeah. Just coming from life, obviously, just pretty standard life stuff. So, but nothing was handed. We don't have any. We don't have any people, like we didn't have any like parents or anyone in the industry. We didn't have anyone to help us. None of us were like rich or anything like that. So it was like, okay, cool. We got to work for this. We got to grind. Wow. We got to do this. And it's like, I think it's just taking what life throws at you in the purest way and making the most out of it. So it's not about like, it's just having hope for the next day and having hope for what you want to accomplish, whether that's just hope for getting up tomorrow morning and being happy, or if it's like hope for being the next president. Yeah. It's just like,
I love that, man. I love that. So what was the key to helping your band stick together? Because you guys been around for a long time. And
we've been around for a really long time.
So, and that's admirable, respectful, and I love that because sometimes there's a lot of great bands that they can't stick together, and it sounds like you guys are sticking
really
together.
Hard. Yeah, super hard, man. Yeah, it's crazy difficult. I don't know. I think if I were to be honest, I would think that we're all really stubborn, and none of us want to be the first one to drop out of anything. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's almost, I don't even know if it's competitive, but it's just like, well, I'm not going to be the first. Yeah. So it's like, and like, even like when we were coming up and there was kind of like a lull and we were kind of getting to the point of like, man, is this really going to happen? It's like, it's like any one of us could have dropped out to do something else, but I think it was still like, well, we're all kind of starting to do these separate things, but I'm not going to be the one to drop out.
Yeah,
so we just kept it going.
Yeah.
And fortunately we did, because that got us to writing Believer and Best Day, which started our professional career.
Yes.
You know, it's always tough. You know, different dynamics and relationships is super tough. And I think that's one of the things it is about, I don't know, you know, recognizing certain changes that need to be made at some times. And I'm stoked that we've been able to, you know, especially recently, make those changes and move forward in such a positive way.
Awesome. That's admirable. Very admirable, respectful. So now we're getting into one of my biggest questions, okay? On your tour, you sang a sneak peek of this song that you said is going to come out soon. And then you guys, American Authors, released a new song, I believe, like maybe 2 weeks ago. So I was hoping it was smaller.
Oh, man. No,
but it wasn't. But smaller. Okay, you got it. That song, I think, oh my gosh, it just, the lyrics just hit. And I have a couple clips. Like, I made a couple clips on my phone. My daughter got a couple. We're trying to put it together, but it wasn't enough. But those lyrics are so deep. They're so...
Oh, man. Thank you so much. You know, it's such a beautiful song. And I wrote that with some really amazing friends of mine. I did that, you know, worked on that one and during like heavy quarantine time. I was by myself in my home studio, and I was working with this amazing producer named Jackson Hoffman out of New York. And so me and him were just going back on all this solo stuff, like putting a solo record together. And this was like an idea that he brought in, and I think we just like knocked it out of the park. I love this song. But yeah, man, it's, you know, I also did release a minute clip of it on TikTok.
Oh, really?
So okay. But even like since I released a minute clip on TikTok, just like if you want to like hear some sort of recording of it, I've made changes to it since I've put it on TikTok.
Gotcha.
So it's even different, but
wow,
I'm super stoked on that one, and it's really just about looking back on those times of when everything was easy when you were younger. But at the end of the day, you know, when I get into the bridge of that song, it's really being grateful that these experiences make you who you are today. You know, we all have, you know, we all have those moments where it's like, oh man, like I see the memes all day. I love, like, I'm big in the meme culture. So like an all day, it's like, especially now with all the craziness going on, it's like, it's like, you're just seeing it of like, man, you know, like 2016 to 2017, best time. Like 2020 to now is like, oh gosh, can't think anymore. But
sometimes the memes keep you going, right? There's like the daily.
But it's, you know, when that song, when it hits the bridge, it really is like you can look back on whatever the good years or whatever it is all day long, but it doesn't mean you're going back. You ain't got no time machine, so it's like you got to look at those and what happened, how that made you who you are today, and like what are we supposed to do? You got to take advantage of every day moving forward, right?
Appreciate
That's all
it.
you have is you only have this. You don't know what tomorrow's going to hold, and the past is the past. So you know, I reminisce and I think back on it all the time, and I always have like a million changes that like, oh man, I could have done this differently in the past with this, but it's like, it is what it is. Now I got to look forward and what I'm supposed to do now. But that's kind of what that song Smaller is all about. And, I don't know when I'm going to release it. You know, you're talking about like, I wish you would have recorded the set. I am talking with my team right now about maybe trying to like do some special, like one night only kind of like, like a live recording. Like, but
or at least that song. At least that song.
I have that song recorded.
Acoustic version. Do an acoustic version.
For sure. Yeah. So we'll see. Like we might do, like some sort of like a live set of, you know, the newer stuff that I was playing, just in like get that out. And release it before I even do like studio versions of the songs. I don't know. We'll see. We're in talks. Like it's all so new and stuff, but my management had never seen me do a set like this.
Wow.
Because like for real, I've never done it. Like I've never done it at radio shows and stuff, which is crazy to think about. But like this is their first time like even seeing me do this. So now it's like, okay, you're back home. How can we keep doing all this stuff? Because American Authors, we're starting next week to basically go in and write our next album.
Nice. Very nice.
So Authors, it's like heavy Authors. We got shows coming up. You know, we're really going hard on the next album. But at the same time, the team's like, well, this is super cool too. Like, how can we start releasing some of it, maybe do
Yeah.
some fun activities based around like the solo thing while we're in the studio working. So
Yeah.
but I appreciate that, man. I love that song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great song, and it's good to hear you guys got a lot of good things coming up. A whole new album, a lot of good things to look forward to. That song, "Smaller," I'm good. That's gonna be a repeat as soon as it comes out, man. The lyrics, man, I know you probably can't give it all away, but it's a few of the chorus. What did you say about friends? Something you said about friends, or you?
Yeah. So the second verse seemed to go really well.
Yeah.
So the second verse goes.
There's one line about.
I mean, like we could play it real quick. You know, it's like. When I still got excited to bring out the cake and make a wish.
Yeah, there we go.
And I never worry about money, 'cause the tooth fairy'd make me rich. And I actually miss all the scary things underneath my bed. 'Cause it's way worse when you find out sometimes monsters pretend they're friends. Now it feels like those days are so far away. 'Cause now when I bleed, I really feel it. Yeah.
Do the chorus. Come on, you're already there.
Take me back.
Yeah, come on.
To when we were small and the world felt smaller. Take me back to when all I'd want was to grow an inch taller. Never knowing, bruised or broken, was so alive. So take me back to when we were small and the world felt smaller.
There you go, guys. There you go.
Yeah.
Live uncut edition, only on your Good Life Now podcast. Amazing. Thank you for that. And I'm so impressed how you could do that just off the bat. I mean, wow, very impressive. You didn't have to, you didn't do no warm up vocals. You just nailed it, man.
Of course, man. I got I'm ready.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And that's listeners, you can hear that. What an amazing song. All the lyrics. He talks about growing up with Band-Aids and all these things. And it's just a very touching song. I think that song's going to do really well. I think it's going to do well. So yeah, it's good stuff. Very good stuff, man. So, man, well, as we're nearing the end here, this is just a random off question, but it's kind of cool to ask people, what's like one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received in your life? I mean, we all got those one-liners that stick with us, you know? I got a few, but what's yours, or one of them?
The best piece of advice? Oh, gosh. I wish I had, like, some super philosophical quote to throw at you, man. I'm like,
sometimes
I'm
those
like,
don't.
not feel like I'm like I have like all these like
yeah.
I guess I have all these opinions. I would just call them how to live my life, but I'm not like a super philosophical person. But this is such a silly one. But,
silly's good too, bro. No sweat.
My mom always tells me, you throw enough crap against the wall, something's bound to stick.
Hey, I like that, man. You see, beautiful. We're gonna make a quote of that, bro. Put that all over social media.
And I think when you're always working and you're striving for new things, I think it's important. You gotta have focus.
Yeah.
But I think it's also so important not to be afraid of trying new things.
Wow.
Trying new things, because I know so many people who have an idea of, okay, I'm gonna be this kind of an artist that does this kind of craft. Yeah. And my outcome will be this and I will be that, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like if someone can do that, that's amazing. Yeah. That was not the case for me.
Wow.
Like it took so many different things. It took me, because like American authors starting up, we wanted to be like Coldplay. We wanted to write like epic ballads like Coldplay. Like that was our jam. Yeah. And it took us getting outside of our comfort zone. Okay, let's try this. Let's try that. Let's write with this person. Let's go to this club. Let's try this. And it took that to get to the sound that is American authors today. Wow. And so now it's like I always say to people, like, say yes to things, try new things, finish one piece of art or whatever it is you do, and then move on to the next one. Wow. Try a million different things, because you don't know what your true calling is. Like I wish all the time that I could make music like Radiohead.
Yeah,
right? Like, that'd be sick. Yeah. But I don't do that. Like just because I listen to that, I don't do that. Like that doesn't come naturally out of me. And if I would have spent my whole life just thinking like, I'm going to be Radiohead, so I'm going to spend every day making music like Radiohead. Like, I don't know if I would have been where I'm at today. It took me saying yes to this. It took me saying yes to doing some crazy haunted house reality show. It took me saying yes to playing acoustic guitar for like someone from American Idol. It took me saying yes to all these things to get me to where I'm at today.
Wow.
So, so I'll always say like right now, it's like I'm working on new music with authors. I'm working on new music solo. I'm working on an NFT project. Like, I'm working on all these things that like, will any of them amount to anything? Like, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm having fun doing it, and I'm trying, and I'm putting it out there into the universe. I'm putting it out there at least.
Yeah.
Look, if one of them sticks, it's going to be awesome.
Wow.
And along the way, I'll learn a lot about myself too. Of like, okay, that worked. I was good at this. I was bad at that. I was okay at this. So I think you throw enough crap against the wall.
Bro, that was brilliant. I'm telling you, that was beautiful, man. Beautiful piece of advice. I mean, because that's the podcast. It's called Your Good Life Now. We're here to motivate, encourage people. My goal with the podcast is to tell people that, you don't have to wait till you reach a certain goal to enjoy your life. You
don't.
I think if you don't enjoy your life now, I don't think you'll ever reach your goal. You have to you have to enjoy your life to reach it. So we're encouraging people to do that. And what you just said is amazing because as you were talking, it reminded me of that little. I'm sure you've seen that little meme or design. It shows you like a success and where you are in success and shows an arrow like that. And it says it doesn't happen like that. It's usually like all these squiggly lines and then you end up there.
Oh my gosh!
And that's
yeah. Crazy.
And that's what reminded me with your story because you're saying that you got to try things you don't know what's going to click or as your saying goes what's going to stick. You don't know what's going to stick and you just got to kind of just follow your heart is kind of what I see or whatever you're feeling because you don't know what you're going to get out of it. You don't know the benefits and I'm sure you could probably attest that all those things you tried you probably gained something out of each and every experience. You
do, yeah. Yeah, it's such a good mixture of following your heart.
Yeah.
For sure. And also being aware. Be aware of what's going on. Like when that little spark happens, it could happen in a place that you're really not expecting that to go down.
Wow.
And be aware of when that happens, go, there it is, I see it.
Yes.
Boom. It's not like it's hiding. Yeah. It's just like if your head's so single visioned, you might miss that the spark is coming from like whatever, like your whatever it is that you do. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So I guess it's like be aware of your surroundings and know what's happening. It's like I think such a big thing with American authors is like we've tried. It's like. We've tried so many different things of like reinvention, new styles, new sounds, new this, new that. And like, while everything has served its purpose, it's kind of like, hey, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
Let's be aware of what American authors is right now. And let's work with that.
Yeah. That's
like
beautiful.
It's like, let's try that right now.
Yeah.
We tried a lot of other things. It's like, let's try to just assess, like, what are we?
Wow.
What is our brand?
Yeah.
What do people know us as? What do people love us as? It's like, it's not like we can't keep bringing in influences from all these different things.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to follow your heart, but you also have to be aware.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how you compared yourself, how like, you guys wanted to sound like Coldplay and in your own heart, you would love to sound like Radiohead. But, I think I've been discovering lately that the great power is when you realize who you are. You have influences, you have role models, but when you find your own power, I think that's where the strength happens. That's where things start kicking because you're you and we're all created to be different, and we can have good influences. But what was the key for you kind of like embracing who you are versus trying to be somebody else?
It was trying new things.
Gotcha.
It's like I don't think I knew exactly who I was artistically.
Gotcha.
For a really long time. It took me a really long time to figure out like, okay, what am I good at artistically? And how do I make that work?
Yeah.
Right? Like I kind of understood for a while that I'm good at like pop music.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know how to blend that in with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have found that if it wasn't for trying new things, trying new sounds, styles, working with new people.
Yeah.
Getting outside of my comfort zone. I try to say yes to as many experiences as possible. Like, I don't like to flake on things. I don't like to cancel, because I've had plenty of sessions,
Yeah.
like songwriting sessions or whatever, where I'd like wake up and I'm like, man, I'm just not feeling it today. And then I go in and, you write something incredible that's game changing.
Wow.
You know, like, I'll be like straight up, like when we wrote Best Day of My Life, we were working with these producers in upstate New York, and we weren't really writing that much. Like, we weren't like, it was not like an everyday thing. We were kind of going up there to write like for one day every month.
Yeah.
Like once a month, you know?
Wow.
One day. So that's not a lot. Maybe once every 2 months sometimes, but it was like, I remember thinking like, okay, cool. We had that one day.
Yeah.
We're up. And on that one day, we wrote Believer, which then led to Best Day.
Wow.
And I think to myself, like, could have been super easy for me to like be like, man, I'm just not feeling this today. Like, I don't want to take that 2-hour train ride up north. I just don't feel like doing it today. And if I didn't go that one day, would that moment have been created on a different day? Like, I don't know. I can't say, but I think about that. And so I think it is just, me personally, I didn't know who I was. I still am learning every day who I am artistically. I think it's about trying things and saying yes to new experiences.
Awesome. I love that, man. I love that. And so when you wrote those hits, like, did you know they were going to be hits, or did you not?
Not really. They were so foreign to us at the time because it was just like so outside of what we had been doing and really thought we wanted to do.
Wow.
That they were almost kind of like, like borderline. I don't want to say joke, but borderline.
Yeah, you just having fun.
Okay, this is crazy. Let's just be crazy with it. And then, fortunately, like, our producer, he's amazing, and he's like such a rad dude. He was like, "This is really cool. Like, I think this is cool. I'm gonna send Believer to a friend of mine over at Alt Nation Sirius XM." And then Sirius XM was like, "This, I love this. Finish the song. You got to finish the song and release it, because we're going to start playing it next week."
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And it was kind of like, we looked at each other like, okay, hey, this style worked.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Let's do something else like it. Let's just let's do it again. So then we did, and then Best Day came. And then he did the same thing, like, this is cool. Let me send this to my friend who does like TV licensing commercials. And then that person was like, I like this. Let me send it out. And then like the next week, while Believer was getting on Sirius XM, Best Day got put in a Lowe's home improvement commercial.
Nice.
And then it was kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, we have a sound now.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's going to work, but we actually have something to like, we can progress from this.
Yeah. You have some success.
We have a little formula.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. But it took a long time to get to there. It took a long time. And like, those songs weren't just like, boom, one and done, 5 minutes. Like, those took weeks of rewrites.
Wow.
We rewrote both Believer and Best Day. We rewrote parts, lyrics. Like, I'll always say, like, Best Day of My Life, the bridge, you know, the I hear it calling outside the window. That was my initial idea for the verse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was like the verse idea, but then we were all like, nah, I don't know. I didn't even think no. Everyone else was like, that's not a verse. Like, let's scrap that.
Wow.
And then it took another week to get the melody that is the verse, and it took another week for the lyrics. And then when it came time for a bridge, our producer was like, yo, remember that original verse idea? Let's put that as a bridge. So it's like, again, it's about being open to trying new things. Like, we were open to rewrites. You know, we wrote it, we did what we needed to do in the day, but we weren't afraid to go back, rewrite, go back, rewrite. This time of like quarantine or whatever, and like this time of kind of being more on my own, I've tried to learn to like take time with songs to be like, okay, cool, let's bang it out right now, but then let's go back and rewrite. Let's keep changing it. Like, what can we do better? You know?
Wow.
So,
And that's the artist in you. That's that perfection, where you just want to like, you're willing to put in the time to kind of perfect it, and
yeah.
and of course that's hard because when you do that, sometimes you just don't know when it's ready to be released because you could keep perfecting it for the rest of your life if you really wanted to, but
yeah, you can.
yeah,
and for better or worse, I think I can do a pretty good job of being like, yeah, this sounds done to me.
Nice.
For better or for worse, because it's like, 99% of the time
yeah.
it usually doesn't work out, but it's like, but I think at least I have a pretty good understanding of what cool this is done.
Man.
I think what's more difficult for a lot of people is when they have a creation of any sort.
Yeah.
It can be really hard to take other opinions in of like, hey, what if you were to change this? What if you change this? What if you do this? Most people will go, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then they never do it. Right?
Yeah.
Majority, I'd say 95% of people I know that are artists in any sort, they don't do it.
Yeah.
And now it's not saying that one idea is better than the other.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, let's consider this.
Yeah.
Do you even consider it? And I try to be really open to those ideas. I do. I really try. Like, even like I was saying with that song Smaller, originally, like, so on the version that I have tracked right now, that I have on TikTok, it goes, the end of the chorus, take me back to where it was, never know the bruise not broken. So take me back to when we were small and the world still felt all right.
Oh, gotcha.
And I played it just in my living room with Mike, the guitar player from Small Pools, before we left for tour. Because I was just playing him like the new, like I was just playing in my set. And when he heard that, he's like, no. He's like, dude, your hook is take me back to when we were small and the world was smaller. He's like, he's like, and I'm like, well, doesn't all right kind of rhyme with the word before? He goes, I don't even care. My mind's not thinking about that.
Wow.
Because I don't want to think about when the world was all right, because the world is still all right for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the song is about take me back to when we were small and the world was small.
That's
just
really,
repeat that. And I go, done. Like, you don't have to convince me, man. There's no more conversation.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
And it's just like, I could have easily said like, no, dude, this is my thing. Like,
that's
whatever.
true. Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. And it's to your benefit. Because I definitely, feel the ending on the smaller definitely kind of closes the book. You know what I mean?
Closes it in a nice, I agree. It closes it in a much nicer way of like, with that same song, dude, with Smaller, like just cause, not to like harp on this song, but it's like when we were working on it, when my buddy Jackson and I were working on it in like quarantine time, and like I thought it was dope because the original production that he had for it was like really like, it was kind of like Coldplay ballady. And it was dope. Like I really liked it. Like I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I played it for one of my good friends. Like me and my buddy would go hiking together and whatever, and I'll play him new stuff. And I played it for my buddy, and he's like, this doesn't make sense, dude. Your lyrics have such a different feeling than the music. The music feels so heavy and intense, and your lyrics are so like this inspirational, like young sounding thing. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, you should try doing this like a Bob Marley, Jason Mraz kind of ukulele.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, all right. And he's like, you should really try that. I'm like, you know what, dude?
Wow.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like, I mess with that. So, so I brought that to the producer, and we had like a whole new session.
Wow.
And we completely redid the production, and and it sounds pretty much like I was playing it live, but it's just more instrumentation.
Yeah.
Like, so if you listen to it on TikTok, you'll hear it's got that like reggae.
Wow.
Like a lighter vibe.
Wow.
It was like, I thought the original production was dope.
Wow.
And it is dope. It's not saying that one's right or wrong. It was just like, you know what? I respect my friend who told me this.
Wow.
And I want to try it. I'll definitely try it.
Yeah.
And we tried it, and it's like, this makes way more sense. This is awesome.
Wow. I love that, man. And I think that's probably one of the keys to your success. You could just tell through the way you're describing, I mean, your humility and willingness to open up to others, people's and advice. Even when you're the artist, you're like, dude, you're just my hiking buddy. You don't know nothing about music. Let me do my thing.
Well, he does know about music.
Oh, okay. I don't know who this.
I mean, but he's awesome, dude.
Okay.
But sure, like, okay, if you want to break it down, like, okay, I have had more success than him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
It's not
Like,
about that.
Yeah. And I think your openness to humility and I mean, your humility and openness to advice is key because it's making you better. It's making your sound, your music. And I love that. And I think,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's worth trying. It's at least worth trying. And I said to him, like, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
And I'll play you a new version next week. I will try it.
I love that.
I've tried a bunch of things and they're worse when you redo it.
Yeah, true.
I've done that. Like, man, I have songs that have come out on authors' albums where I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the first version that we did was way better. Like, we changed it way too many times, and I don't like this.
And did you go back?
No, because they came out on the album.
Oh, it was done. Oh, so you just had to stick with it.
Like when we were in the studio working on it, it was like, oh, well, let's try this. What if we rewrote this? Yada, yada, yada. And it was like, then it came out on the album, and I listened back, and I'm like, man, this is not as good.
Wow.
Like, this would have been better if we would have just kept version 2 rather than version 5.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's, but it's whatever it is. You never know.
Yeah.
Worth trying at least.
Worth trying it, man. I think if we could sum up our whole conversation in one sentence, it's to give it a shot, give it a try. It's worth trying. It's worth trying. I mean, the invaluable lessons you can learn from experiencing just trying something,
For sure. Cheers.
Trying it, giving up. Awesome, man. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do appreciate you working time out of your schedule to hang out with me and give a great conversation to our audience. So go ahead and share your Instagram handles or whatever media handles people could follow you.
Yeah. Please hit up at American Authors on Instagram. You can find American Authors on TikTok, all that stuff. My @ is right there, Zac Barnett.
Zac Barnett, right there.
Yeah. So you can just hit me up on Instagram or TikTok anytime. I'm always down to chat. So, if you ever have any questions about whatever, my DMs are always open.
Awesome. Well, you're a great guy. I appreciate you, and your integrity and character shines in all you do. And I love your message of hope. And man, I have this little recording of Smaller that's going to keep me satisfied until you release a song. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Yep. All right, my friends. So thank you guys for listening to the podcast. We'll see you next time. Cheers to your good life.
This is how it feels when you living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life. I'm just living that good life.